The Green Bay Packers looked really, really good last night versus the Washington Commanders. And one of the biggest reasons for that was Micah Parsons, but it was also Jordan Love looking like an elite quarterback in this game. So let's dive into the film and see how Jordan Love and the Packers defeated the Washington Commanders. Okay, here you see he motions Wicks over. What he did is he took Wicks from the opposite side of the field and he motioned over to trips on this side of the field. You have Wicks, you have Dobbs, and you have the tight end. I believe this is Luke Musgrave right here. And what you're going to do, you're going to run play action with a levels concept to the outside here, right? You want to fake it down, get these linebackers and safeties to kind of play the run a little bit, and then you want to sneak in 13 behind him if it's zone coverage, and if it's man coverage, you're going to want one of these out routes to beat their man. Also, if it's zone coverage, if he comes down a little bit or he comes down too hard, you're going to have a 1v1 with Dobbs up at the top. And this is just a really good play call that allows the quarterback to only have to read one side of the field. He'll have time in the pocket because of the amount of blockers he has. Really like this play call here. And you see, Love does a great job throwing with anticipation to 13, who's Wicks. Now, the only thing you'd say here is you wish Love would put this ball right here instead of leaving it on the inside, but thankfully Wicks got enough separation on Lattimore where it really didn't matter. It really has to be studied, the fall off of Marshawn Lattimore. They were picking on him in this game, and he used to be one of the best corners in the NFL. Gets that back foot, ball's out. Great job there by Jordan Love to open up the game. For this next play here, we're going to have trips to the bottom of your screen again, and then we have an ISO receiver on this right side of the field. And usually what you do in this situation is you try to isolate him so that he can have one-on-one coverage with this backside dig. So if it's man, or even if it's zone, you can try to hit him in this little gap right here in the defense. But we also have a lot of really cool route combinations on the screen as well, just so that we have a lot of different read progressions to get through. We have a check and release flat over here, we have an out route, and we also have a post. The post is in case this safety comes down on this dig, and these two are meant to create a levels concept. Once again, NFL offensive coordinators love them. I love them because they help exploit zone coverage, and outs can also beat man coverage. So it always gives you a place to go with the football. And we're going to have the running back on a Texas right here, just in case we have a ton of time in the pocket and we need someone to get open. Ultimately here, there's going to be a penalty on this play, so it's not going to actually count for much in the game. But I thought this was an incredible throw by Jordan Love, so I'm going to let it play through here. Watch him, just amazing route right there by Jayden Reed. Incredible throw by Jordan Love. That was a dot. Let's look at it from this other angle. Great blocking here too. Good pocket awareness, stepping up in the pocket right there, and just a dot to that top corner pylon. Love to see it. Here he's going to put his tight end into motion. He's going to check the play. Can is what he's saying there at the line. And he canned this play to pretty much a deep curl concept. And the reason he did this is because he sees that they're in what looks like cover 4, and cover 4 drops a lot of people back into coverage, and it only leaves one defender for each of the flats on each side of the field. So when you do that, if these corners who are playing the flats down here, or safeties or linebackers, whoever's ultimately playing our flats to both sides of the field, if they don't get enough depth, then these curls are going to be open underneath the deep zones. But if they do get too much depth, then both our flats are going to be open, or one of them is, right? It just depends according to the side of the field. And I want to just show this play because I want to show how great of a job Jordan Love does realizing the coverage, going through his progressions, and realizing, hey, I have the check down here to the running back after he sees this safety right here get out, right? Great job there by Jordan Love. Next up, we're going to have a play where we have doubles to both sides of the field, which means we have 2 receivers on each side of the field. We're in 11 personnel because we have 1 running back and 1 tight end, so this could be a run or a pass right here, but because our tight end is in the slot, that's giving the defense the impression that we're passing the ball. So what concept do we have drawn up here? We have a few different things. We have what could be called a levels concept again, because we have a quick little flat route right here and a crosser above it, and then we have a post behind it. But that's not really the concept they're trying to work. Instead, what they're kind of trying to work is this seam paired up with this weird post angle route, right? And the reason they want to do that is because there's only one high safety right here. And because we only have one high safety, if he chooses this seam, we'll have probably a touchdown here on the backside because Matthew Golden's one of the fastest players in football. But if he doesn't choose that and he chooses Matthew Golden instead, this seam should win over the top as well, or at least give us a 50-50 ball that we'd like our receiver to have. And the running backs obviously going to stay in a block here, give us time to set up the play. So let's see what Jordan Love does here. This is actually one of his worst plays of the game. You see Matthew Gold wins here up top, and he just leaves the ball underneath. Probably should have been picked off. Now we're going to watch it from this other view here. I want you to notice just how much Matthew Golden's having to slow down. I know he's extremely fast, hard not to underthrow him, but you've got to just try to put this ball in the A right here, right? But he leaves it right at the tip of the end zone, and good thing it just gets knocked down, right? Because this could have easily been a pick if he just flipped those hams around and dove the other way. But decent play, good schematic play, right? But Jordan Love didn't execute to the best of his ability here. Now I want to point out one of the Packers' biggest plays of the game and how this was kind of on the Commanders, but also an incredible play design to beat this coverage. The reason I want to say it's kind of on the Commanders is because it's very easy to tell here pre-snap what they're in. You look at this outside corner, I believe that's Lattimore, how he's positioned on the outside of this receiver. You look at this outside corner over here, same thing, and you have a one high safety look, right? And then to cap it all off, we're going to put this guy into motion. No one follows him, and that instantly tells us pre-snap, we've got cover 3. Now I'm going to draw this play up for you guys so we can understand how we beat cover 3, because there's one really fundamental way to beat cover 3 consistently. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Commanders are in cover 3. The best way to beat cover 3 is either with the levels concept or you beat them up the seams. My personal favorite way is to beat them up the seams, but that takes a quarterback with a good arm and solid accuracy, right? Because up the middle of the field, that area, if it's not open, there's a high chance of you throwing an interception. So how are they going to beat it here? We're going to run a crosser that should take care of any inside linebacker right here. And then whatever linebacker is kind of lined up to play this zone right here is going to think that he's passing off this route to the safety. But because we have this deep kind of vertical crosser right here, this safety is going to cheat over this side and cover it a little bit, and it's going to leave it open. And it's because this corner can't cover him as well. That's the point of putting 83 in motion here, right? Is because when we put him in motion, we pull this corner out of the play, we put him on the sideline, and it just leaves this vertical wide open. And it got so open, the Packers actually picked up a 50-plus yard gain on the play. But what I also want you to notice is this route right here. Because even if Bobby Wagner carried this route right here and locked it up, you were still going to have this kind of crosser vertical route still get open at the top of your screen because of this check and release corner route right there. Watch it right here. 3 was going to let him go anyway, but because Bobby thinks he's got a safety right here he's handed off to, but you see the safety's coming over here. Just kind of bad technique there by him. He opens up, gets wide open. Great ball there by Jordan Love to put it on him. You don't need to lead him down the field there. You just need to take the huge completion and let him do the rest. Now we're going to watch it from the end zone view here. Once again, just a great job by him identifying, hey, this is what I got open pre-snap, looking off the safety, and then throwing it. Next up, we got a play here by Jordan Love that I just want to show off to you guys. I'm not really going to break it down or anything special like that, but I just want to show the mobility here that's going to extend drives. It's an advantage that these younger quarterbacks in this league have. Here's another play I want to show off really quick. This is actually a huge mistake by Jordan Love. I think it was probably his worst play of the entire game, if I'm being honest. Even watching it live, it didn't look pretty. And the reason I want to point it out is because they're going to run zone coverage here, and he's going to have 2 things wide open. He's going to take a sack, and he's going to stare at both of them. 1, 2. Kind of a hook right here that his receiver's running. He's going to get open. He looks directly at it and for some reason decides not to throw it. But I also still want to point out this tight end here and see how open he gets as well. And Jordan Love, like I said, takes a sack on this play. Wide open, passing Bobby Wagner here. Going to be wide open in this zone as well. I don't know what Jordan Love was honestly doing, but something either didn't click or he had a brain spasm or something, but there's no way you can tell me that based off this scheme, we're not instantly firing this ball in here. If it's open and we're not looking directly at our tight end here, right? Like we are looking directly at him. And then even this doesn't make any sense. We have a wide open running lane right here, and for some reason he goes to escape to the right when we see our tackles getting beat to the right side. Just didn't really make sense. It was just like kind of an off, weird play by him right there. I'm going to show off two more plays here for this game. This one and one other one, they're both going to be passing plays. They're both going to be really great plays by Jordan Love. Let's jump right into them. Okay, for this first play here, we're going to have a concept where we're kind of trying to get everything to the strong side of the field. Right, we have a backside dig that's coming this way. Our running backs on an in right there. Our tight ends on an out. We have a guy going up the seam right here to try to either pull this safety away or try to break free in case this safety takes him and this safety takes him right here. So this seam route kind of just helps us beat cover 2 if that's what's ran here, or even cover 3 up the seam if we need it to, right? And then we have a levels concept again, right, where we have an out right here. We have the running back coming out underneath right here as well. And then we also have this receiver on what kind of looks like a comeback to me. And he's going to hit the comeback, make a really good throw here. And I really just want to highlight that throw by Jordan Love. Just incredible anticipation, accuracy. If you look, he's actually kind of on this hash right here. So just amazing mechanics here. Gets that ball out on a rope. Great job there by Jordan Love. Now let's look at it from the tight view right here. You see changes his launch point in the pocket, sets his feet, and just perfect quarterbacking right there. Look at that ball in the air. Just nice to see. Great job extending those arms over the sideline, making sure it doesn't get knocked out there by Wicks. This next play here shows great timing and anticipation from Jordan Love, so let's break it down as well. Okay, here you see the play drawn up. What you see here is we're going to have a switch release with Matthew Golden where he's coming in motion, so it kind of forces the switch release. But what we did is we motioned him over to get the coverage, to manipulate the defense, help Jordan Love understand what's going on. And I want you to really focus here on this route by Dobbs. This route right here is what makes this play work, because we're trying to make this safety right here make a decision. And if we go in and he doesn't, we have a touchdown. And if he chooses Dobbs, then we should have this tight end right here breaking on this corner route. And because he's in the middle of the field, we have a lot of room to throw him the ball. And because we're kind of getting in the DB's ways, it's going to get really, really open. And then we also have Matthew Golden here, who's so fast. When we get him a running head start and he's gone, this defensive back is going to instantly have to turn his back to the quarterback and really just clear out a lot of space for your tight end underneath him. Watch how it plays out. Great job by Love here, kind of making the depth in the pocket a little bit deeper because he knows this play takes time, right? You see he has this underneath really quick, but that would be a tackle for only a few yards. Matthew Golden's covered really well, but watch that back's turned to him. Safety right here is instantly going over to this side of the field, trying to cover this right here, but he realizes, oh, I'm screwed. He's breaking out. And we get a great route right there by the tight end. And Love's able to just float it in there in a way that just guarantees the catch rather than worrying about trying to pick up a touchdown. Great job there by Jordan Love, by the tight end, running his route in that way. And ultimately, really good play calling. That's the thing I noticed the most about this game was the ball was coming out of Love's hand really, really well on top of some incredible play calling. But overall, what do I think about Jordan Love? I think Jordan Love looks like a really, really good quarterback so far into this season. I've had my doubts in the past. He's looked like a big play hunter at times. But in this game and in their last game against the Lions as well, he just looks like a really, really good, comfortable quarterback. And I think that's great to see. And I think the Packers might just be in their Super Bowl window right now with the Lions taking a regression, the Bears still not looking incredible. The Vikings are still going to be really solid, but I don't think they're as good as they have been. And I think the Packers might run away with this division and might make a Super Bowl push with how great that defense is on top of the weapons on this offense. You can run the ball with Josh Jacobs. You have multiple tight ends who are really, really good. You have Jordan Love, who's a very competent quarterback. And you also have some sneaky, decent wide receivers, right? You don't have that top guy, but Matthew Golden solid and the rest of your receiving core is good enough that with that defense and running game, you can do some with it. Let me know down below what you think about Jordan Love, and thanks for watching. See you.